Hello friends, welcome to my channel Dr. Sam's Biology. In this video, we will discuss principle of ICBN, International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, now called ICN, International Code of Nomenclature for Algae, Fungi and Plants. So this has 6 principles. ICBN has 6 principles. We will understand all 6 one by one in very easy way so that everyone can understand them very clearly. Our first principle is botanical nomenclature is this botanical nomenclature is independent of zoological nomenclature. It has nothing to do with zoological and bacteriological nomenclature. Means plant, animals and bacteria all have their separate naming systems. Rules of naming of all these are different. For example, aster, here you can see that it is a flowering plant, so it is a genus in flowering plant. This aster is also a genus in animals because the rule of both plant and animal do not overlap because they are separate. So every botanical nomenclature is independent of zoological and bacteriological nomenclature. This is our first principle. Now coming to second principle says that name of taxonomic group is determined by means of nomenclature type. Name of taxonomic group means name of any species, genus, family, order, class is determined by nomenclature type. Nomenclature type is actually a specimen. So every name will be defined. You can say that every name will be determined by a nomenclature type or determined by a specimen. When a new plant is named, scientists preserve one herbarium specimen of this plant, and this preserved herbarium is called nomenclature type. Imagine someone has discovered a new rose species, then what he will do? He will make one herbarium seat of that species, and that herbarium seat is a nomenclature type. The name of that species will be based on that specimen. So this is our second principle. Now coming to the third principle, nomenclature of taxonomy group is based on priority of publication. Means the one who publish first will be credited of the name. If two scientists publishes the same name, then earliest published name will be the valid name. The scientist who will publish it earlier will have its valid name. If a plant was named, suppose a plant X plant was named Sunflowerius and it was published in 18th century, and the second plant Bright Flora, it was published in 1850. So we use or we called this Sunflowerius as a valid name because he published it earlier than this one. Now coming to fourth principle. This is our fourth principle. Each taxonomic group can bear one correct name. Any taxonomic group, it may be species, genus, family, it will have one correct name, and this correct name is called valid name. If scientist A, here similarly you can see that publish a name purple flower magnifica, and scientist B name it violet bloom regalis, and it is published in 1820, it is published in 1850, then it will be the valid name because he published it earlier than this. So each taxonomic group will bear only one correct name, other names are synonyms. Now coming to the fifth one, scientific name of taxonomic group are treated in Latin. Every scientific name, regardless of its origin, anything, will be written in Latin language. Here you the grammars of Latin, rules of the grammars of Latin will be used in that case. All plant names follow Latin grammar rule. If their origin is from other language, then also they will be converted, or you can say translated into the Latin. For example, an Indian origin name Rosa indica. Indica means from India. It gets its Latin name because in Latin, in India is called Indica. That's why it is Indica. Suppose if there are no rule of Latin language, then it should be written as India or anything that is related to Indian language. But it is here it is written Indica. Indica is a Latin word which means from India. So all the taxonomic group will be treated in Latin. Now coming to the last rule of nomenclature are retroactive unless expressly limited. Means the new naming rule will apply to the old, even the old. If there is any change, it says that if there is any change in the rule, then this change will be applicable to the old name.